life coaching. You hear all about it these days. So what actually is it? In this video, I'm going to get into the who's, the what's, and the whys of life coaching so you can learn whether life coaching is right for you. Who is a life coach? Well, a life coach is a professional who helps people create meaningful change in their personal or professional lives, not by giving their clients advice, but by guiding them to discover their own answers, build clarity, and take aligned action towards their goals. So here's a breakdown of what a life coach actually does. The first thing is they sort of clarify your goals and your values. So helping people decipher what it is they truly want out of life, not necessarily what they should want based off society's standards, but what they as an individual are working towards. And a life coach will help them to clarify these goals because once they're clarified, it can become easier to work directly towards them. Another thing that they do is they help you identify limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs are basically unconscious patterns that maybe have been inherited from us by our past or society that are standing in the way of our success. So you might want wealth and abundance, but some part of your nervous system actually wouldn't feel safe having the wealth and abundance you want. So partially what we do as life coaches is we go into these beliefs that are holding you back, help to rewire them and install new beliefs that can basically give you the physiological capabilities and the psychological capabilities to live the dream life that you've always wanted to live. Another thing that life coaches do is develop strategies for achieving personal and professional goals. So let's say, for example, that you want to run a marathon, let's say. You might go to a marathon coach who can help you determine different running programs in order to give you the skills and the tools you need in order to compete at a high level. And so in the same way, life coaches are coaches for personal and professional lives. So they can help you instill plans to develop skills to help you in your professional career. They can help you work through past traumas so your emotional landscape can become healthier and cleaner. They can help you with really anything that you might want, depending on the life coach that you're working with and the skill sets that they have to offer. A lot of times life coaches will basically develop programs and tools specifically related to the issues that they've dealt with in their life. So it's unlikely that you'll find sort of a life coach who has never dealt with depression who is helping others with depression, but rather it's those who have been through the issues that you're facing who are likely to be able to help you the most. Another thing that a life coach does is they build accountability and momentum. So a lot of times the things that are preventing us from reaching our goals is we don't have the motivation in order to actually enact the change to get us to that place that we want to be. And so a life coach will keep you on track, keep pulling you back to your goals and hold you accountable to do the things that you say you're going to do. And this really incentivizes and motivates positive change and growth in a way that wouldn't otherwise happen without that accountability partner and that momentum partner. Another thing that life coaching does is it helps to enhance your mindset and your emotional intelligence. So typically why life coaches are hired is because most working class professionals spend a lot of their time at work and then they come home and they have their own personal lives and everything. And so they don't really have a lot of time to learn about psychology or to learn about mindset tools and practices that you can instill in your life to make your life better. But what a life coach does is they've spent their time learning about all these tools, learning all these skills so that you as a professional can use them to instill and learn about these skills without having to go through the rigorous trial and error process to see what works, to see what doesn't. And basically they help you accelerate your path to emotional and mental intelligence based off their mentorship and their guidance and their skills and tools that they can help you to learn much faster than you would be able to learn them on your own through independent self-study. What a life coach is not, however, is a life coach is not a therapist. They don't diagnose or treat mental illness whatsoever. You still have to rely on regular doctors and the regular medical system to go through that process. They are not a consultant, so they don't simply tell you what you should be doing, but rather helping to guide you to the path that will work best for you. And they're also not a mentor, so they don't base their process entirely on their own personal experience. What I do in my emotional wellness coaching is use a lot of my own personal experience. That's the type of teacher I am. But you'll find that it's not just that, it's not only anecdotal experience, but it is also tools and techniques that have been tried and tested for many, many people in many different ways across many systems. So, life coaching really is a collaborative process. It's a partnership where the coach uses questions, reflections, and specific tools to help their client access their own wisdom and power. And life coaching can help with all sorts of different things. It can help you with confidence and self worth. It can help you with career transitions or entrepreneurship. It can help you with your relationships, the way you communicate with others. It can help you overcome stress and burnout. It can help you with purpose, finding your life's purpose, and give you a sense of direction. It can also help you with emotional regulation and mindset tips. So that's a little bit about who life coaches are. And now let's get into the how do life coaches do what they do. So how does life coaching actually work? Well, life coaching is a blend of psychology, intuition, and structured processes. And one of the first things that almost all life coaches will do within the beginning of a process is developing trust with the person that they're working with. Trust is important for many different reasons, but it really allows the person to feel safe enough within the container to be willing to face the things that are deep inside of them that are holding them back from the growth and transformation that they're looking for. And trust can be established through many different things. The first is through testimonials. So you might see that a life coach has a lot of stories of transformation from other clients, and that tells you that they are reputable and reliable to do the things that they say they're going to do. Another thing is through the intake process, a lot of coaches will get to know you through your story and they'll want to learn more about your past. And that helps to build a reputation or a relationship between the life coach and the client. And that establishes trust on a deep level because then you really know what it is that you're working with and who you're working with. And hopefully the life coach will share some of their stories as well so you can get to know them and how they became who they are. And the final part of trust is just the way that somebody holds space. So through presence, through really listening, through active listening and hearing what the person has to say and seeing what they're reflecting back to them through their share, that can really set the tone for the session and let the person know that they are safe to go deep. They are allowed to be who they are and express that freely. And also they can go into their past and they will be supported and listened to and not be judged no matter what comes up. Another thing that life coaches do is they ask powerful, reflective questions. So this reflective process will get the client to go internal, and oftentimes it's not enough for a life coach to tell you what's right or wrong, but really we're guiding the client to have their own awakening into what they need to shift themselves. They learn the lessons themselves, and it's through this reflective process that the person can find out and figure out the source of the problem and basically reframe it in a healthy way to help them with whatever they have going on. So some examples of the questions that you might be asked in a life coaching session is what would be possible for you if fear wasn't standing in the way? Another good one is when did you first start believing in this program or this paradigm? Another one is what part of you feels this way? Is this a current version of you or is this a past version of you? By understanding the different psychological frameworks that exist behind the issues that you're facing on a surface level, then we can start to understand the source of it. And through that, we can develop a solution to integrate that part of you that maybe hasn't been in wholeness for a while, and it can complete this process of transformation. Another thing that life coaches do is they use frameworks and tools. So rather than just talking and counseling, there are actually habits that can be implemented into your life and different techniques that can be used within the session to go a little bit deeper to really embody some of these teachings. So mindset and belief work is a big one. Somatic and nervous system regulation is awesome. Can be done through grounding, can be done through breath work. Another one is inner child healing. So this is going into your past basically and determining what happened to you as a child that's leading to this behavior this day. Another one is goal setting and accountability work. So once again, this is actively setting a goal in the future and then taking small steps towards that and being held accountable to actually take those steps. And another piece of it is energy work. So this can be more of a quantum, let's say, metaphysical technique that not all life coaches will use. I personally use energy healing in my work. I find that everything at its base is energy and everything is vibration. And so if you can basically go in and change a frequency that is causing dissonance and bring it into harmony, that can do wonders for not only your nervous system but your whole life. So visualization is another amazing thing too. Sometimes it's hard for us to even believe in the reality that we're after, but through visualization, we can sort of start to anchor that reality into actual reality and into our belief system. And through that, it can help us work through these limitations of doubt and fear and anxiety. So that's a huge one. Another thing that life coaches do is they reflect and they mirror back what you're going through in your own personal experience. So this helps you to see the parts of yourself that you couldn't see independently. Like if you think of, standing and looking in a mirror, you can see your back, whereas normally you can't. So although this might seem simple, it's really, really powerful that a life coach enables this reflection back to you, because it's the parts of us that are unconscious that often are the areas that we don't necessarily put a lot of our focus and attention into. How could we? We're not conscious of it. And so once you become aware of it, then your whole reality expands and grows, and now you have a power that you never had before, because here's something that you didn't even know was affecting you, and now you know about it so you can shift it. Very, very important. And the other thing that life coaches do, the final piece, at least in this topic, is they guide integration and action. So it's one thing to have a breakthrough within the session where you have a realization into what's actually going on for you, and then you understand how you can shift and change that for your betterment. But it's another thing to actually do it after the session is over and continue to do it until it becomes embodied in your everyday life. And so life coaches will continue to work with you on this process, give you tools to integrate, and just help you integrate by being a continual support over long periods of time, rather than just a one-off session that can maybe left you feeling with more questions than answers. It's a continual process again and again, and this is why it's so important to have a month-long or 2-month or 3-month-long program, so that you can ensure that these things that we're working so hard to achieve actually stick around and become a part of you for the long term. So finally, why would somebody do life coaching in their life? Well, some of the most common reasons why somebody would do this is if somebody, a client, is looking to get unstuck from patterns of overthinking, people pleasing, or fear. There's some problems that just stick around with us for many, many years, and we just cannot get over them. And so that's what a life coach will help you to do, is push you over that wall, give you the assistance you need to finally be free and liberated from these things. And from that liberation, a whole beautiful life can unfold, but not if you don't get over these things that are holding you back. Another reason is people who are looking to find direction. So, let's say that you maybe are in a place in your life where you're at a crossroads and you don't know what the next steps are. Well, a life coach can help you determine that and help you not only determine what direction, but the best course of action to take to get you moving towards that place that you want to be. Another reason is to build self-trust within yourself and emotional regulation. It's through these breakthroughs, it's through these realizations, it's through this integration into wholeness of these parts of yourself that were previously neglected and unseen and unfelt, that we can really start to come into our greatest confidence and our power and our ability to be the person that we want to be in this world. And we can also emotionally regulate ourselves, because a lot of the times the reasons why we feel negatively are because of these energy leaks, or these basically things that are in us that are causing fear and sadness and pain. So if you remove the source of that fear and pain, then it's not going to come from anywhere, right? So if you want true confidence and true emotional happiness, then life coaching can be a really great way to get to that place, to be who you want to be. Another reason is because life coaching can help you to create a life that feels authentic. So often, a lot of the things that we do in our society are based off of goals and aspirations of professional goals, or, let's say romantic goals or friendship goals or whatever. But maybe it's not necessarily coming from what we actually want, but because our parents wanted this for us, or our boss wants us to do this, or, the commercial on TV wants you to buy this product. So authentic living comes from within, and unless you spend time actively figuring out what is within, then you're not going to know what true authenticity is for you. So a life coach can help you figure out exactly who and what you are, and this will enable you to fulfill your soul's purpose and to live the life that you've always wanted to live. The final reason why somebody might do life coaching is because they want to experience a transformation that actually lasts. They want to be different than what they are now. And so life coaching is a container. It's sort of a hero's journey where you enter in through the portal, through the relationship and the connection, and however many months later down the line this relationship ends, you will be a different person than the one that started. And so much of it has to do with the intention behind that relationship. You're going into it saying that you want change, and it's through your will, through your determination, through your commitment to show up again and again, that transformation will actually happen, and it will change. It will last. Once a seed breaks open and starts to become that sapling and develops that tree, it can't possibly go back to the version of itself that it was before. So real life coaching, real transformation does make a difference in your life, and you'll be amazed at the potential that exists within you if you allow yourself to be cracked open and nourished through life coaching to receive the sustenance and the advice you need to grow into the highest being that you possibly can. So, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to film this with you. If you have any more questions about life coaching, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. But otherwise, I have lots more videos on wellness and self-help and all sorts of fun and cool things. So feel free to check out any of my other videos. Thank you for watching.